Gentlemen, it is Tuesday here at Two Line Slot Cars. Welcome to Two Line Speedway. I hope everyone is having a great week so far. Actually got quite a lot to squeeze in tonight, which is good. Kind of want to do a post-race breakdown a little bit, talk about how the racing went this past weekend, and talk a little bit about Roxy and how she performed. Got an envelope in the mail I want to share with you from our good buddy Slot Car Dojo, and he sent me some cool stuff, Joe, and want to share that with you. What else? Oh, we got quite a bit. I think we'll have plenty to talk about. So let's take a look and see what's going on in the chat. Let's see here. LEB Hobbies. I wanted to see, check in this week and see if we've got anything new coming. I feel like we were getting so much announced over the last few weeks, but so check out the LEB New Arrivals page and see if we've got anything coming. So maybe we'll get to that as well. So what do we have? We have out in the chat Tim from TNT Motorsports Complex. Shout out to Tim. Tim has been building for a few months now a wood layout. He replaced his Carrera layout with a wood track that he and I think some friends of his have been building. And this past weekend, they pretty much wrapped up everything but the bridge, putting the braid down. So Tim is getting really close to running some laps on that. I look forward to seeing what a car looks like going around that circuit. So well done, Tim. That was been a big project, and good to see that it's coming towards a conclusion. And hopefully, I know you still have some things to do, but it'll be good to see some cars running around that finally. So good stuff. Slot R, welcome. Dave is staying up late tonight to hang out with all the cool kids. Don't include me in that. But when Dave's here, we definitely are a much cooler group. John Tucci. Hey, John. He'll go hair gel and put on the hat last minute. Yeah. Not that I was having a bad hair day. I just, I definitely got home tonight and put the hat on. So Greg, shout out to Greg. Greg hosted the race this past weekend. I've been working on just a quick video, kind of summarize the track. He is the owner and purveyor of the Lebanon Raceway Park, which was about a 70-foot lane length Ninko track, 4 lanes. And what it solidified for me was we'll probably always have a 4-lane track. 4-lane, there's something about home racing on a 4-lane track. I know with a 2-lane, you can build a much longer track, but there was nothing that was not fun about Saturday night on Greg's track. It's a great layout. It's kind of a point and shoot, but it's got some technical stuff to it. You really had to get your controller set right. I really didn't tweak my controller much the whole evening. I probably could have just to stand there a little bit more control, but so we'll talk about that coming up. Chris Fretter, welcome, Chris. I'm glad you're here. Chris, how's the bumper cars going? Yeah, that's right. Looking good. That's a great kit from Magnetic Racing. We always called them bumper cars as a kid, but I think they talked about, they call them Dodgems, and the amusement park that I grew up going to every year, that Dusty and I would go and ride roller coasters. They were called Dodgems there. So Yeah, that's cool. RW53, good evening. Harry is in the house. Hey, Harry, welcome. Let's see, who else do we have? Greg is in the house. Clearwater, thanks for being here. Dusty is in the house. Hey, Dusty. Dusty, we had a lot of fun. Good time with John Mark and Dusty, and I drove down to Greg's place to race. Daniel, good evening, Daniel. Hope you're doing well. A big group. Hey, looks like we're getting a full house. Yeah, we'll see. It's a random Tuesday. Patrick, we ran fast laps through its paces a little bit. Hopefully we'll have some feedback for you from the race this past weekend. Greg was able to get it installed and get it running on his track, and aside from a few just not knowing the software well enough, I think we had a very successful race with it. But we will learn a little bit, and it was fantastic. It really did a fantastic job. So kudos to you. Keep working on that. You've got a great product. There's Greg. Jerry, Jerry's giving a shout out to a bunch of people. The Fingers is in the house. Yeah, gosh, we got a bunch. There's Shotgun Dave. Hey, Shotgun. Hey, Dave, thanks for earlier today. It was good to chat. I really appreciate your advice. So, it means a lot. Mad P, what's up? Glad to have you, Pistol Pete. Who else do we have? I'm scrolling through these. Good evening, Mr. Albright. John, I hope you're doing well out there on the West Coast. And there he is, Slot Car Dojo. Joe. I got a little package from Joe to go along with Roxy, the theme. For those of you who don't know, this is Roxy. Roxy did pretty good. She's all right. She's got some work still left in her, but hey, show me slots. Welcome, Pete. Glad you're here. Hey, so fast. Glad you're here. Thanks, guys. Man, hey, Mike. We have some new NSR cars in stock tomorrow. Mike, yeah, let me, actually, Mike, I already have your website up here. Do you have them, like, coming soon on your website? What all is coming in? All right, new arrivals. Let's see what Mike's got coming in. Pre-orders, maybe. That'd be. You might not have them up yet. Now that I'm thinking about it. Now in stock. Pre-order cars, new products. Well, Mike, we would definitely check it out. Guys, don't forget, go out to Cloverleaf Racing. Actually, I've got a parts order, a cart set up here with some stuff in it that I just keep adding to. So, Mike, I put a link to your website out there. So, thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. Where else we at? Thanks. Appreciate that. Means a lot. Hey, Doug. Let's see, going back. Gina's in the house. Brandon is in the house. Tim. Carrera, easy build, 4-lane with all lane passing. Yeah, Tim, 4-lane is racing. I think at this point, we will probably always have, the 908 Martini. That's a good looking car. I know some people don't like the Martini livery, but I'm not opposed to it. Hey, Ben. Good to have you. Let's see. Gary, MB Auto Detail. We'll be driving through Cincy on Friday, hopefully stopping at Cincy Slots to check it out before they close. Game at Mount St. Joseph. Nice. Yeah, MB. Josh will probably be in there. I don't know if you'll be able to bump into Bruce, especially if it's later in the day, but Josh and those guys will be in there. And, yeah, it's totally worth stopping by. They have got a ton of cars. Especially if there's a rare car you're looking for, he's got all kinds of like just boxes filled with cars and drawers filled with cars, and he has a big selection of cars. So Bruce is always buying collections, and so there's a bunch on the website, but there's a lot that he's not put out there. So. Marty, Thunderslot Lola, T70, and the NSR Martini Porsche are releasing. Thanks, Chris. That's awesome. So, Mike, we will check back and see what you've got coming in tomorrow. Let us know when you get the website up to date. Well, cool. So, let's talk a little bit about racing on Saturday. And I don't know if I've got the ability to throw. I don't think I have any pictures on my laptop to throw out there. But you guys will see it when I post my video. It'll probably go out on Saturday, like normal, Saturday morning. But it's an update from Greg's track. Greg, I hope that's okay. But I took some footage of the racing, practice, just kind of walk through on the track. And it was really, really good. So it is, like I said, it's a 4-lane Ninko, about 70, 75 feet lane length, and no overpass, so there's no bridge, so sight lines are all pretty good. There's 3 driver stations on one side of the table, and then Greg throws a curveball at you with the red lane on the other side of the table, and that was a big change. That's an interesting thing to do. Really changes the perspective of the track. It really spiced things up, I think. But it was really good. Let's see. John says Dodgems or bumper cars depends on where you're from. I would agree. I think bumper cars are probably a Midwest thing, but at Kings Island in Ohio, they called them Dodgems, but we still called them bumper cars. But those one of the things that used to be able to go to a local carnivals and ride. It was a popular ride, so good stuff. But yeah, that magnetic racing Dodgems kit is really pretty cool. Let's see, Nick V is in the house. Buzzkill. Let's see, Jerry Allen. Let's see here. Not the whole track be 4-lane. Try a single lane funnel. That would get challenging to squeeze everybody down to 1 lane. No, I haven't posted them yet. The Abarth and a 908. Oh yeah, I saw that those were releasing the Abarths. Has anybody tuned one of those up? I think Dave has. Slot R has. To me, those seem like they would be a really, really fun car. I wonder if they just don't look like they're 1/32 scale. They look like they're bigger. So I don't know, but they look like they might be fun, sort of like a Legends type of race or class if you did that. Hey Patrick, hey HSF, amp stuff and things. Welcome. I'm looking at the WeatherTech AMG from NSR. Yeah, the WeatherTech, that's a cool livery. I really like that. Daryl, if he was in, he would say that it's too much white. Hey, DW, welcome. Lots of people in this chat have been keeping me busy lately. Thanks, everyone, for the support. That's awesome. That is great, Pete. I'm glad that these guys are placing some orders with you. So keep that 3D printer printing. Hey, Chris, how are we doing? I'm doing great. I can't complain. You know, it wouldn't do me any good if I did. But Dave always gives good advice. George, you're right. Yep, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. DeFingers, Roxy survived. Yes, Roxy survived. I can probably go here. Here's Roxy. I still haven't. I need to take her apart and clear coat. I've got the decals on her now, and so she's numbered, and I've got the interior painted. So yeah, she survived racing, and I've got some of the red tires I bought from Greg, and then I've got some more in my cart to order from Mike. But yeah, Roxy's quick. She's pretty easy to drive. It's probably the best running NSR car that I have. It actually performs probably a little better, or actually a lot better than my Corvette. My Corvette, it was honestly a little slow. That might be because I've got the 21K motor in it, and I think we can run the 25K motor. And so but I really need to work on some gearing. I think that I need to figure out what gears I need to have on hand, because I've got like 10, 11, 12, 13 pinions, but I only have 1 or 2 spurs. I have the stock spur gears, so I need to figure out what I need to order, what spur gears I need to throw in there. But all in all, really, really pleased with these cars. They just need a little more work, but I'm pretty proud of Roxy. Everybody seemed to like the livery. So now I need to stop racing her and get her clear coated. But here's the cool thing. Let me switch back to. Here's the cool thing. Roxy did survive the fingers. George says Dave always gives good advice. More cars from others due around the first, including the 101 Shadow from MR Slot Car. So I don't know if the 101, I think, is probably going to be popular. I think the first run is probably, the one everybody went crazy over. But I like the 101. It actually, like, that's actually the car I think I remember, not the number one, but the 101 from when I was a kid. So those are the Shadow is a great car. It runs really, really well. We've got a few guys at Cincy that run that in the vintage class, which will be coming up. But I'll probably want to run Roxy, although my Thunder slot is probably just still a touch faster. So Daniel says, I have parts order too, Marty. I may need you to rein me in. But now that I hear that there are some new NSR cars, I may be cooked. Racing is getting expensive. Yeah, Daniel, you have to be careful. That's for sure. Hey, Dahi, good evening. It's a hat day, brother. That's right. So going back to Joe, and we all know him as Slot Car Dojo, and then we also, if you follow him on Instagram, he's Ronin Hobbies on Instagram. And because of Roxy, he sent me a message and he said, hey, I was in Virginia at the Raceway, and I got something for you. Check that out. Who did it better? How awesome is that? So this is definitely going to hang here at the track, along with my postcard where I got my picture taken with Dave Kindig at SEMA 2 years ago. But how cool is that? Autographed. Lauren Heinrich. They got the win in Roxy this weekend, which was awesome. But there's a couple other things in here. He has this, the Path, and I've actually gotten to see that car in person. But we got some driver signatures on that. That's awesome. Joe doesn't know how excited I was about this. When I was a kid, we used to go to, focus. We used to go to National Trails Raceway and go watch all of the drag racers. It was the Spring Nationals back then. And all of them would be giving away these pictures of their cars for them to sign. And so I used to have all kinds of autographs and all kinds of stickers. And so Joe sent me some stickers. And I was asking about the Michelin Man. Michelin Man is one of my favorites. I love we got VP Racing Fuels sticker. We've got the Liqui Moly. So these are all going to go up on the borders and the track. And then we've got the Forte Racing. That's pretty sweet. And we've got, some Michelin stickers. That's cool. So he really hooked me up. Got a little Roxy. That is a pit box sticker right there, if I've ever seen one. I Liqui Moly my car. And then there's air freshener and keychain and some IMSA stickers. And then we've got some Michelin Man. There's the sticker. So, Joe, I will probably scan that. Sorry, Michelin. And make that sign, because that is the exact logo that I've been looking for that I can't find in high res on the internet. So that's all good stuff. But the best thing is this. It's Hair Gel Marty right there, wearing his 2 Lines t-shirt in my shorts. That's awesome. That is fantastic. Well done. Well done. That's great. Joe, thanks, man. I appreciate it. That was awesome. That was awesome. So what have I missed in the chat? Let's go take a look. Yeah, Daniel, I've got a big parts order. John Mark was joking around and calling my 908 the $300 908. The sideways escorts look really good, John. I'm very partial to the white and green. That looks pretty good. But any of them really look good. That'll be a good car. There's quite a few people that race the earlier ones in the Group 5 class. Let's see what else we have. Hey Shane, good morning. John D. Yeah, Dahi, tell Sasha we all miss her, and hopefully she's doing great. So hopefully she's just enjoying being a kid. That's what's most important. So we know you guys are busy. So that's good to see. Man, that's great to see. Steve was really quick on Saturday in the vintage class. It was some really, really tight racing, actually. If you look at the stats, the lap count was pretty close. We were kind of grouped from top to bottom. There wasn't a big lap spread. So, yeah, fun times. But Steve did awesome. Cars are running great, man. Good job. Let's see. What else? DNA. Try using single lane loops with double lane circuit. Great. Cops and robbers. Hey, Tim, do you run some HO? I don't have an HO track, but I watched some of these videos, man. Like a Viper layout would be awesome. But I don't think they make a loop for Carrera, full-size Carrera track, so I'm not sure how to be up for that. But with HO, some of us had the Tycos when we were kids that had the loops. Pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah. That's right. We do. Nobody's home. Yes. Good to see you. Please. Yeah, thanks to Fingers. I appreciate that. Appreciate the shout out. So Slot R says the Abarth is top heavy, so you definitely have to add some weight. It does look really tall, but it's a great looking slot car though. I think it would be a fun class. Dan Curry has ordered one of Pete's garages. That's awesome. Daniel says it's a fun little car. Thanks, Dojo. Good stuff. Looks like the Has anybody seen there's an Instagram account where they're taking the old Dodgem bumper cars and putting chassis underneath of them and putting motorcycle engines in them. I'll have to share that on my channel, on my Instagram channel. I actually just saw it right before I went live. They are really, really cool. So they're refurbing these old bumper cars and putting chassis and motorcycle engines on them. And they look sort of like four-wheelers. But like one of them has like a 900cc motorcycle engine on it, run 125 mile an hour. That would be a death trap because they look really top heavy. But it looked like in the Instagram video, they were going to drive them to lunch together. So talking about the new sideways stuff, let's go here. So this is Cloverleaf. Mike's looks like he's got the new Escorts from Sideways. So you've got the Sansui. You've got the Zach Speed Turbo. That's a good looking, I like that red and blue. And then you've got the Electrolux. And then you've got the John Player Special with the flag fenders. I have a feeling that one, there's probably a love-hate relationship with that one. I have this feeling that that people either love it or they hate it. And it is a limited edition, but if you like John Player Special, but obviously this is a fantasy livery, but how many people love it? How many people hate it? That's funny. But those look good. And then you've also got the Datsun N That's out of stock. Yeah, but those look good. Dang it. I might have to throw one of those in my cart. I don't need another Group 5 car, but those look really good. Hey, George. Thanks for tuning in tonight. George, live stream was good last night. I was at my men's group watching Monday Night Football, and I had my ears in watching your stream at the same time. And you guys are animals with all this resin printing. You guys are really doing a great job with the trucks and all the different bodies. I'm really impressed. So John says the Abarths are a hoot. Yeah, they do look like Greg in real life. They're POSs. I've never driven one. I know that, doesn't Dave Kennedy drive one? So, hey, Mark B., welcome. John D., our main track owner has 4 NSR Abarth cars, lane colored, as car supplied class to even the field, run well with close to zero tuning. Yeah, John, I think they would be a great club. They would be a fun, what do you call it? IROC type of race, where the car stays in the lane and drivers move. That would be fun. Gary, I like that car, and I want one. One normal straight makes 2 single lane straights. Curves give 2 sweet different type curves must have. Same with a lot of cars, but with slot cars, not as much. At least they can be tuned to run. That's right. What else do we have? Yeah, Shane, DNA didn't leave. He just they just haven't been doing videos. I think his girls have kept him busy, and he's been remodeling a room, the slot car room, I think. So he's been hard at work. Hey, Todd, welcome. Hopefully everybody's I hope you're doing well, man. Greg, you built a gremlin. My brother sent me the what was it called? The shitbox class, where it was Pintos and Gremlins racing, road racing, which was pretty funny. Pat, welcome, Pat. Good day. Hopefully you're doing well over there, man. So where were we at? So Joe sent me some great stuff. I appreciated it. The Roxy to match my car. Although this is the wrong Porsche. It's a fun project. This was cool too. My video this past week was bragging about Dave and his designs, DG Designs, and putting this on my controller. They look really good. Real pleased with how they turned out. And, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's going to hold up really well. So if you're interested in those, reach out to him. He reposted my video on his page, which I thought was pretty cool. So good stuff. Trying to make a bunch of sticks into handrail at the moment. That's all right, Dave. No worries, man. If you're going to do a Pinto, you have to do a Vega to run with it. So you have to do a Vega, a Pinto, and a Gremlin. I think that would be an awesome class. And with you guys doing resin bodies, that shouldn't be too difficult. You could always throw the Maverick in there. That's right. We'll build one and have it explode when hot from the rear. When it gets hit in the rear, the Pinto blows up. That's great. That's funny, George. Hey, Tommy, from the Elsa One Hotel in Puerto Rico. Thanks for joining, Tommy. I appreciate that. What else do we have? Only 32 thumbs up and 82 watching. That's all right. John Albright, we need a Mustang too. Dusty got excited when I found out that the Mustang 2 was actually a Group 5 car. We actually found a model kit. Yeah, HSF. It's signed. It's pretty cool. Hey, Marty. Yeah. Thanks, Tommy, for joining in, man. From Puerto Rico. That's really cool. Did I win the coloring contest? I stayed in the lines. It has so much white, Marty, I might as well be a martini livery. Daryl, I was waiting for that comment. Ever since I made it, I was waiting for your response, buddy. Let's see, what else do we have? Pete's doing some shout-outs. Or Pat's doing some shout-outs. Please no IMSA spoilers. Oh, sorry, Brandon. Have you not watched the race yet? How have you stayed? It's Tuesday. How have you stayed away from spoilers to this point? That race was Sunday at Indy. Joseph, look at this. Hey, all, just found time to drop by, and now work is calling. Anyway, come on, Marty, say go Guardians, 4-1 in the 8th. Joseph, you just jumped on to give me a hard time about the Reds. I see how you are. Yeah, my Reds aren't very good, man. Our season is over. Hope you're doing well, man. Good to hear from you. Let's see. IMSA spoilers for Dranka. That's great. I watched the IMSA race, a lot of it, and watched some of it in replay. It was a good race. It was a really good race. That Indy course is pretty brutal. There's a lot of damaged cars that finished that race. I'm super impressed with the Riva Slot 510. I trued the tires down to around 2.5 millimeters on all tires. No need for shims. Runs great. Yeah, Daniel, it is a really nice car. Riva Slot has got a special in there. Have 2 full sets of Winston Cup contingency decals from a certain racing shop. They are awesome. That's cool. What else do we have? So I talked about Greg's. I talked about Roxy, controller, what Joe sent me. Oh, we had a kind of a test and tune last week. Dusty came over, and we were working on our sideways cars, and the Skyline seems to be a top performer, and Dusty's Skyline in particular, he got the STP Skyline. That car is fast. Like, he's running 4.8s with that thing, and that's not typical of a sideways on this track. They tend to be a little tail happy on the Carrera track, and especially this layout. And the fact that, I mean, usually like they're usually a 5.2, 5.1s at best, and mine's running like 5.1s, and Dusty's is running like 4.8s, 4.7s. It's crazy. Are those sideways Escorts considered Group 2 or Group 5? They are considered Group 5. They would run this month. So if you order one, get it tuned up. But I don't think you want to run anything but that Skyline. Olga is holding my John Player Special Escort. So Albright has already ordered one. So I think that, like I said, some people love them, and I have a feeling that Slot R does not like that John Player Special Edition. Hey, Slot Car League of Champions. Hey, there we go, Sasha. Sasha's just she's a good kid. You got a good one there, Dahi. So hopefully, I'm glad she's doing great. So John says Olga is holding up his, and Dusty says, or Slaughter says, Olga is on her way here soon. So I wonder if Slot R, I bet he ordered an Escort too, and I bet it's the Sansui Escort would be my guess. John is going to change it out to a slim can. So we've noticed that if you go a little lighter on the RPM motor, that some of those sideways cars really, really love it. Daryl has one. I'm trying to remember what motor he has. One of the NSR motors, like the 17,000 RPM motor, or maybe it's the 19,000 RPM motor. And that car is so easy to drive and is so quick. It's just like a perfect matchup. So, John, I have a feeling that you're going to like that slim can in that car. Chris, don't forget roast. Don't forget roast coffee. Headed there after work tomorrow. Grab some coffee. Let's see, what else do we have? Phil Russo is in the house. Thanks for joining, Phil. 4 grams of ballast in the Abarth Hall is the male, not as top heavy as it looks. Yeah, I definitely probably need some weight though. There's a couple guys that have a small old bumper cars with Rascal running gear and run around the big car shows. That's pretty cool. A bumper car with a motorcycle engine. Oh, Chris found it. That's cool. Yeah, that link. They look awesome. Slaughter. Thankfully, it's a limited edition livery. Greg he's after a couple of 70s F1 and 124 scale. So I thought that Scale Auto was releasing some 124 scale cars, but I feel like they were older F1s, not 70s, but like earlier. Marty, it's the Reebok symbol. What's the Reebok symbol? I'll have to figure out what Nick's talking about. Dusty has a couple more than I do. We don't need. Yeah, Group 5. That's the Zach Speed is Group 5. Group 5 would be like the Capris and the Mustangs, probably 74 through 85 maybe is the time frame. The M1, the Skyline. It's the big body. They added the big fenders and stuff to them, and then big horsepower motors. Yeah, John, I'm wondering if that's the guy I saw on Instagram. What I saw, they were beautiful, and they had refinished them, and they were just gorgeous. I'll stick with my cricket. Abarths are awesome in real life, like a posh go-kart. Daniel, I've always felt like that was the Mini Cooper, where the wheels are out on the corners, and it always felt like they drove like a go-kart. Timothy says, I used a vape to build a wheel well light car when airflow gets high enough, looks cool in the dark. I bet that does, Tim. We have a guy right down the street that works on vintage Fiats, beautiful cars, but he is killing it with repairs to keep them running. I bet. And parts can't be cheap either, right? Fiat's the company that had the racetrack, the test track on its roof, right? I was thinking that they're building their factory. They had a test track on top, if I remember right. Hey, Jim. Thanks for joining, man. Very good, Tim. Thanks. Let's see. Comet, Maverick. There you go. The Pacer, HSF. Yeah, Pacer would be a good one to add to that. And George says they're all available in a file. So if you got a resin printer, you can print those things. My thumbs up never updates. It's all good, man. No worries. Remember Top Secret when the German Jeep hit the Pinto? I own a Mustang 2 here in Australia. It has a 351 Cleveland in it. That's cool, Nick. Yeah, that's a good question. Did Ford sell them there? You're still looking for a Gremlin body, Dave? Hey, Clearwater bought the 125th Gremlin kit. I saw that kit was out there. No, they were imported by someone. I bought it as a shell and fixed it. I liked it. It was very different from anything here. Yeah, the Mustang 2 is very different from anything ever made. I just got here, so you need to start back from the top. It's all right, Greg. I already bragged about you. How fast your NSR, the 908 was, and how you kicked everybody's butt in vintage. Or, I'm sorry, in GT with your Corvette, your C8 Corvette. James Tharp, good evening. I hear you beat my son and Law Greg on the first race. Did I beat Greg on the first race? That's funny. I think I almost won that heat. Ross, I don't know if he's in the chat. We got caught up in a wreck, and he blew by the wreck, and I spent the last 3 or 4 laps chasing him down. I was trying to get the win. I felt pretty good about that race, and then it all fell apart after that, James. That's great. John Albright, question: do the controller skins look to be durable enough? John, yes. The skins are very durable. They are made out of 3M car vinyl. So they once they're on. But I think they're easy enough to remove. A little bit of heat. If you decided you wanted to take them off. But yeah, man, they're going to hold up. They're UV protected, so they won't fade. They won't wear. So yeah, no problems. I know some George asked if they need to be clear coated, and I wouldn't want to clear coat them because you might get tired of it and want to change them. But I don't think you'll wear them out. But they look good. They look really good. But yeah, I believe that they would hold up really well. Yeah, Greg saw them on Saturday. They look great. I do not foresee any issues. Even the edges, I don't think the edges will peel. As long as you clean the controller, and get like all the oils from your hands off of it with rubbing alcohol before you apply them. They went on. I squeezed the air out of them, and they have not moved. They've been great. So, yep, I don't foresee any issues at all, John. And they're fun. And he will custom design them. So you tell him what colors, and he'll throw a design at you. And See if you like it. DeFingers' dad owned a Mustang 2 back in the day. Cobra. That's what Dusty always wanted. He loves the Cobras. Daryl, thanks. The 17K Spanish King. That is a fantastic motor to put in a sideways car. It's not legal in the racing class at Cincy Slots. You have to run the stock motor. But if you're wanting to build a car and it's a sideways car, I totally recommend that 17K. That is a great motor in that car. I think, Daryl, you have that in a Capri, or is it a Zack Speed? You have it in one of these, right? If I remember right. Maybe different livery. But, yeah, the Capri Group 5. Those are good cars. I like those cars. That is what Harry has done to another of his cars to make them more manageable on the track, as well as more enjoyable to drive. That's the motor. Gotcha, George. Yeah, it really is a great motor, and it's surprisingly fast. But I ran like 10 or 15 laps with it, and I couldn't force the car out of the slot. It performed so well. It hooked up well. Traction was great. It wasn't too much motor, but it was still quick and really, really great times. John Albright, most controller handles are done from the inside. That's the reason for asking. Yeah, there is no reason this vinyl goes on the outside, John. I foresee no issues with the skin. I think you will get tired of it before you wear it out, and maybe you never get tired of it. But I don't think, and I think 10 years, I don't even think there'd be an issue. It still look new. Because some of that car vinyl, I mean, this is not going to get any kind of weather. It's not going to sit out in the sun. It's not going to get any of that. So I don't foresee that being an issue at all. Hey, Greg, yeah, bulges and horsepower for the Group 5 stuff. Marty, the flag on the sideways Escort rear guard is the Reebok symbol. Oh, Nick, gotcha. It is. It's the half of the flag, right? That Reebok. That's funny. Now I can't unsee that, Nick. Let's see. A little late, YouTube. That's all right. At least they told you, Jerry. Nick, we could not get my mom to drive it. Scared her. She preferred her Pinto. Fireball and all. Finally got my hands on a couple Ninko R4 turns. Not easy to find. I bet Greg might be able to know a source. Since he has Ninko. Slightly Mad Slot Cars. Fox 1409. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Todd says his first car was a Mustang 2. The Legato factory test track in the sky. It's now a museum. That would be so cool to see, John. I've seen pictures of it, like cars actually going around the test track. My guess is it was wood. I can imagine being on that building and a car going around. Is there a version of the Ford Falcon still made in Australia? I don't know about that. Yes, the Mad Max car. I just filmed a Ford Falcon. That's cool. John Albright, dang, YouTube just paid me $5 shy of the cost of a new sideways Escort. Woohoo! The fingers, it's funny. My partner is scared of mine as well. Definitely exciting to drive. Ford sent the Cleveland tooling to Australia about 73, so up to 82. All Ford V8 engines were Cleveland's cast in Australia, both 351 and 302 version. That's interesting. Man, you learn all kinds of things in the chat. If it's true car vinyl, they are coated already for staining. Yeah, Jeff, it is. It's 3. In his video, I should post that. Actually, the install video that he has, he talks about the vinyl, what he uses, and how in the process he prints it and then coats it, just like they do for cars. So it won't stain. It won't. Shouldn't peel. It shouldn't come off until you want it to come off. Timothy, are you a vape salesman? Oh, gosh. Hydro dipping would be cool. We had team helmets dipped years ago. Yeah, you could definitely hydro dip your take your controller apart and got to go. Hey, Tim, thanks for hanging out tonight. Look forward to your next video with some cars running around that track. Good luck. What time is it? It's almost 9 o'clock. Yeah, I think that it's what he was trying to get across is that he was talking about making cars look like they were smoking tires with the vape. I couldn't quite make out everything he was trying to. John, it's concrete, not wood. I would never have guessed that. That has to be a pretty hefty building. Pretty hefty building. Greg. Hey, Tad. Welcome, Greg. You going to ride the storm out? Oh, that's right. Greg, you were in the path of the hurricane, man. It's supposed to, I don't know where exactly it's supposed to come, but I know I've got relatives close to you, and they're trying to decide what to do. Marty's live is kind of like the Seinfeld show. It's about nothing, but pretty good by the time you get to the end. It's a show about nothing. Into fingers, hydro painting is really pretty cool. They do a lot of guitars that way. So after being at Greg's and driving on his Ninko layout, Greg says Ninko is near impossible to find. It's not giving up, and I'm not giving up what I've found. I wasn't saying that you had extra track. I was just saying that maybe you might be able to point them in the right direction. But yeah, I'm guessing it's pretty hard to find. And then people, when they do get it, they don't let go of it. So I don't know that Bruce has any, even though he buys collections. I know he's picked up some track that way. But anyway, a show about nothing. One of the greatest sitcoms of all time. Show about nothing. I don't know. What else do we have to talk about? John D. Ford Falcon in Australia made up until 2016. Yeah, the Mad Max was a coupe from 73. Increasingly diverged from the U.S. Falcon from 1960's first one. Number one seller or number two for most of the 60s to 99. Wow, that's incredible. Hello, Neumann. Hello, Newman. Hello, Neumann. Dan, were you doing a play on words there? Yeah, Newman was one of my favorites. The best, one of the best episodes is the Keith Hernandez episode where they do the JFK where Hernandez supposedly spit on Kramer. It's one of the best. Back and to the left. Or what, to the right, whatever it was. So good. So Debbie hit you last month. Is this next one going to hit you? Or are you out of the storm path? Yeah, DeFingers, we can talk about that. So on the 19th, I'm hosting a race here for the guys that are testing and tuning and prepping for different track types and surfaces, and really it's just about getting laps in on something different and trying to get used to a track here on the 19th of October. So here at Two Line Speedway, I think we're going to go morning. I'm not really sure. I haven't completely decided that, but I know there are a couple guys that works out a little better. Because coming to me, it's a bigger drive for most everybody coming here, because most of them live in the Cincinnati area proper. So I'm not sure how many will make the trip. However many come, we'll have fun. We'll run some laps. It'll be a good change up for them, a modified, figure 8 type of layout. But after racing on Greg's, I was talking to John Albright about it. My favorite lane on Greg's track was the blue lane, which had the super tight hairpin, and I loved flipping that car around that hairpin and then shooting down that little back chute to the big right-hand turn to come to the front straight. That was just one of my favorite parts of the track. You'd come hard through the squiggle, hit the right-hand hairpin, coast around and grab the throttle, and that was a lot of fun. And that's one of the things, like, I've got R1 turns here on this, but they're definitely not as tight as the Ninko or like the Polycar or Scale Auto or any of them. They all have a set of turns that are much sharper. And if you asked me when we were building the layouts a couple years ago, I would have said, staying away from R1 turns, because we said we didn't enjoy them. But what I'm finding is, as I'm getting more laps in on different tracks, I don't mind the technical stuff. Like, that's a challenge, and you can appreciate every layout for what it is. And so I don't think I would go and say, oh, I hate that layout from a track. Maybe if I just can't get it, I would probably, it would just challenge me and I'd want to come back after it harder. But after racing on Greg's, I came home and I was kind of up late that night because I was messing around with designs on what the next iteration of Two Lines might look like. I cut that big spot out of the table, but it's pretty easy to patch back up. It might be fun to make some changes to the layout, even though in October this layout will be a year old, which, if you've watched my channel, you know that about every 6 months I was changing my layout. I was either adding to the table or I was adding to the layout, changing some things up. Hey, grandson of man, good to have you. Daryl says, George says, did not care for the 89 Quake. 1 in a million shot, Doc. Yeah, the Hurricane is not a fun thing to live through, for sure. Daryl says he will go to Marty's to be race director. Daryl, if you're going to drive all the way to my house, you're running laps, bro. No, there's no if, ands, or buts about it. It's a 3-hour drive for you to get here. So you gotta run laps. We don't need a race director. We've got track call buttons at every station. We can run it on auto run. It's all good. From 1970 until 2016, 90% of Australian taxis were Falcon 6 cylinders. Running on LP gas, that's That's interesting. I spent 4 days pulling manhole covers with a gas tech, checking for leaks and infrastructure damage. Yeah, John, I got to experience an earthquake in San Francisco, and it was a tiny one. And that was enough to make me think, why do people want to live here? It was the oddest feeling. I was walking down the sidewalk. There was about 4 or 5 of us guys. We were there for Macworld, and I'm trying to think what year this would have been, 2000 and maybe 2007. And I felt like somebody had pushed me, and I kind of lost my balance, and it was just such a weird feeling. And you just see everybody stop. Traffic kind of stopped, and all of a sudden, everybody went back to business, which was just a weird feeling. Too much building, not enough forethought. Yeah. I heard R1. Grandson of man. That's funny. I think you need to have one R1 in your track. Greg, I do. I've got probably 4 R1s on this track. I had to go back and look, but the whole hairpin at the end is the inside is R1, so that'd be 3, and then I've got an R1, 2 R1s in this right here, I think, on the inside. So, yeah, good stuff. That's not true. That's not true. And Bud Slot has cars, Daryl Rogers. There you go. See, you don't have an excuse. Just like you've heard this story before. Dusty and John Mark and I show up to Cincy Slots on a Thursday night. Nothing with us. We didn't have a slot car with us. We didn't have a controller. We didn't own a controller outside of a True Speed for digital. And we walked in, and what did Daryl do? He made us all race. So I'm thinking it was Group 5, and then there was some digital class. And, yeah, John, it was the feeling of no control. It was the weirdest feeling. And when Dusty and I were kids, we had a tremor that made me feel the same way, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And we were all in our backyard, and I was running down. We had this little hill, and I was running down the hill towards my dad, and we get to the bottom, almost wipe out, and my dad was like, I think we just had an earthquake. And so I remember how that felt, but it was way bigger when we were in San Francisco. Daryl, you and me both, buddy. You and me both. Yeah, Marty, and the move in different directions depending on the quake. Yeah, George, I'm sure some of those big, to figure it's kind of what vertigo feels like. That's a really good description for somebody who's experienced that, and they're like, "What does vertigo feel like?" Yeah, it was something like you've never felt before. We had a couple earthquakes last week. They've become commonplace around here. Tad, I live close to one of the biggest fault lines in the country. Good times. I bet. Dave, I lied. I didn't get the car mail today. Will tomorrow. I've got some stuff going out to George, and I need to meet up with Dusty to grab one more thing to throw in the box. And I'm sending him some peppers and some other things, but peppers, jalapeno, spicy, candied jalapenos. So our place was built in 1900 and survived the 1906 quake as well as the 89 with minimal damage. That's pretty impressive. John, I do believe that they've learned a lot about construction out there. And Dusty says, and we had never ran a car without magnets. finish that story. Yeah, Daryl would not let us leave. He forced us to race, not forced. He talked us into it, and we've not been the same. But you're right. Dusty is right. We have not raced magnet cars since. We fell in love with No Mag that day, and we had never raced them before. But at the end of the day, it was like, this is what driving a slot car is all about. And we've played around with some magnet cars since then, but to sit down and race, we've not raced magnets. A magnet track and earthquake, keep racing. That's good. I was in the bathroom during a quake in the 80s, and my mom yelled and asked me, what the heck are you doing in there, Daryl? Hey, Steve. Just made it. Yep, just in time. We're not wrapping up yet, but we will be soon. That's pretty funny, Harry. Good stuff. No wallflowers, Marty. Yep, that's right, Daryl. And with auto run, we can run fast laps. Patrick's got it to where you can just that's what we do when the guys are here racing on Tuesdays when we do the live stream, is we just hit auto run and advance using the track call buttons, and we're good to go. We are good to go. Well, it's 9/11. I feel like I've talked about everything that I was going to talk about. I could run a couple laps with Roxy before I clear coat her. I've got some clear coat, but I'm a little nervous about what it might do. I might try to find something different tomorrow. You might as well run a train set rather than a magnet car. That's funny, Steve. I'm not giving magnet cars. We talk about it all the time, but it is fun. No magnet is fun to drive. It really is. And not that magnet isn't, but I do really enjoy no magnet. It's a good time. It's a good time. So there's Roxy. Steve warned me, and Steve, you were right. From picking it up and marshaling, I'm going to have to redo some of the white paint on the toenails of the dragon, of Roxy, and I actually, because of the picture, it's not this picture, I realized that actually the tail kind of whips around. Instead of straight back, it kind of whips around onto the top. But because the 908 doesn't really have anything in the middle, I just left it the way it is. So I didn't make any changes. Again, had to take some liberties. Let's do this. Let me throw this up here. So what does that look like? No wallflowers, Daryl. Shane, good night, man. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. The Purple People Eater. Yeah, run that car. So I'll do a couple laps and then we'll wrap up the evening. How's that? So let me throw a microphone on. Do that. Something like that, maybe. Should be able to hear me halfway decent there. Maybe a little closer. So Gary says run a car. So let's run a car. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 3. I think you guys got me here. What else do I need to do? Oh, I need to turn the track on. So let's change to this. Hey Alexa, turn on the racetrack. I usually do Alexa on my phone down here in the basement. And I need my controller. So Alexa kicks on my my racetrack power, my lights, my cleaning stations for the car. So let's see, we'll run the white lane. Let me clear the laps. Let's see here, clear all. There we go. I haven't cleaned the track, so we'll see how Roxy's doing here. Hopefully you guys can see the lap times on the screen. I was talking to Patrick tonight via email, and he's made some changes to that practice screen that he's trying to release here soon that will allow you to adjust the size of the font so that we can actually make this a little bigger. So you'll lose some of the data. You won't see as many laps, but I think that it will fill the screen for like 4 lanes, 6 lanes. Ooh, need clear coat on Roxy. So let's take a look. I'm running 5. Well, I had a fast streak. Laps 8, 9, and 10 were all within, I think, 1/10 of each other. I think that's how I got it set up. You can see the little orange fire for the streak laps. That's consistency, 5104, 5123, 5147. And then I ran a 5009, so about to break on a dirty track under 5 seconds. That's not bad for this 908. Little tire cleaning here and see what we can do. See if we can get under 5. Whoop. Not pushing it like that. Might be controller settings here. Yeah, that's probably why. Let's try this now. There's fast lap 4 9s. 4 9s. 4 9s. 5-0. Tires are probably getting a little dirty since I haven't swept the track off in a while. Oh, there we go. 5066, 5042, 4983, 4984, 4992. That's pretty good. I'm not going to complain about that. That's a good running little car. I'm pretty happy with it. There's still some things I think I can do. Let me grab the Corvette. I just realized you guys can't see that. How's that? Maybe a little better. Let's see what we can run in the Corvette, and then we'll call it quits. Roxy's got a nice roll after I hit the brakes. 5150 5164. I can't quite power around. I'm not getting enough traction right there in that big turn. 51. So just a little off of Roxy, but not bad. Not close. Not bad. Close. Not bad. 5054 5107 164 075 145 129 184. Pretty consistent. 5 O's and 5 1s. Not bad. Not bad at all. So there you go, guys. A few laps. Doesn't want anyone to see his lack of laps anyway. Yeah, I did the stair stepper. I ran upstairs. Can Alexa make you a cup of coffee and a sandwich? Alexa can actually make me a cup of coffee. Well, she can turn on my espresso machine, and then I have to make it. Oh, Jesus, an Apple guy. Thanks, Dan. I made some adjustments based on your recommendation the last time. A lot of it had to do with mic placement. I found out that this thing has a little magnet on the back, so I didn't realize that. That's a long walk. I had to walk upstairs to get to Alexa. I had to move the Alexa device that I have down here. So I need to pick up another dot to put down here so I don't have to yell up the stairs. Yeah, I'm an Apple guy. Can't help it. Every time I see Marty's track in action, it just confirms it's my favorite YouTuber's track. Harry, thanks, man. It's a fun layout, but I'm considering some changes. I need my brother to talk me out of it. I need Greg to talk me out of it. But after running Greg's, I really enjoy it. Next release vastly improves the practice laps visibility. It'll show up nicely on that monitor. Yeah, Patrick, I think it will too. Good work. Thanks for working on that. Gary, I feel like Roxy is moving pretty good for a dirty track. Yeah. Thanks. Slightly mad slot cars. I appreciate that. It's a fun layout. It really is. I think sometimes, watching so much YouTube of different layouts that sometimes people, I don't know, I don't think they love figure 8 type of tracks, but I feel like this track in the modified figure 8 configuration works well in this space because it's long and kind of narrow, and with the bridge, it just allows you to have closer lane links, and it just, I don't know, it just works well in this space, and so I don't mind it. Hey, Jamie. Jamie, we had a great time racing with Jamie the other night. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Thanks, Gary. Question, ask Alexa to fart sometime. It's hilarious. Harry loves it. Love the paint scheme on the Roxy. Very cool car. Nice job. Thanks, Patrick. I'm a fan of the real one, and really love Rexy and Roxy and Spike, the LMP car that they have. I think it's an LMP2 maybe. That's a fun car. Really like it, but it was a fun paint scheme. Now I just need to get it clear coated before I scratch it up too much before the race. It's so much fun to drive. I really need to get my other 908 tuned just like it so that I can have kind of a practice car and then my race car, some of that. That's right. Not bad. Hey, thanks for tuning in. All right, we're gonna call it quits tonight, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. It was a fun time. don't forget what Jamie says here. Both Roxy and Dusty's car look great in person. Thanks. Yeah, Dusty's does. I like the fluorescence that shows up really well. It shows up really well on. George just telling me, do I need to check my SMS? That's funny. Sorry, somebody's texted me. So we're gonna wrap things up. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Roxy's fun. It's a great livery. Maybe I'll try. I hand drew it, so it's a little it's a little sloppy. It's not perfect, but not to spoil it for Brandon, but Rexy got another gold tooth. Every time they get a win, they give him a gold tooth. So, yep, Harry, it is bedtime. So, guys, thanks. Appreciate you tuning in, and go have some fun racing. James, can Alexa get a winning manager for the Reds and Bengals? James, I hope so, but I kind of doubt it.